podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Todd, and
Altman Biggs.
And we are here with another very strong guest. That's a classic theme we have. We're here today with Michael Davis, also known as Mikey D. Mikey D, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
We're getting by.
Getting there. Sorry with that pretty big deadlift today.
Yeah, it was all right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Altman mentioned that it was at Untamed Strength.
Yeah.
Isn't that Alan Thrall's place?
Yeah, Untamed Strength. It's about 45 minutes away from me.
I got you. Have you
have
lifted there before?
Friend there lifting, so I just want to met him up.
I got you. Nice. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and jump in. Can you kind of tell us about how you got started in powerlifting and kind of your journey up until this point?
Yeah, so I started powerlifting in high school, but that wasn't like the first time I touched weight. So before that, I took you all the way back. So when I was really young, my sister was in gymnastics. She was strong as hell, and I was just weak, mama's boy. I was just a mama's boy, and I was weak. So she would come home. She was 2 years older than me. She'll flex on me, whoop my ass, whatever, just big sister stuff, And so I specifically remember these moments. It's crazy. So when I was I think I was 9 or 10, she was at gymnastics practice, and I was watching Dragon Ball Z, of course, and I went to the room and I asked my dad. I was like, "Hey, if I throw these kicks," because I was watching them fight and shit. I was like, "Will it make me stronger?" So that was when I first started trying to train to be strong. I was throwing kicks at the wall, weird shit. And then I ended up making my own dumbbells, just a bunch of crazy stuff when I was little, just because I was already trying to lift and I was 10 years old. We didn't have weights or nothing. And then so I was already fascinated with trying to get big. And then and then middle school I started lifting a little bit, and then freshman year is when I really started training. I started powerlifting and competing because in Texas, I mean, I'm sure y'all know already, in Texas there's powerlifting.
It's different. Powerlifting is different in Texas.
It's different, bro, because in the off season for football, if you're not in powerlifting or track, you got to do the hard ass off season work. So it's everybody's doing powerlifting or track. So that's when I first started for real training, squat, bench, deadlift, pretty consistently, and I competed in gear. And that first year I was like you had said, I was a 114.
Yeah, you started off a pretty light kid in freshman year.
I was tiny, bro. I was a late bloomer, so it was I think I was 5'1", 100 pounds when I first got into high school.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts, bro. And then so then I just did my high school thing. I think senior year I finally made it to state. The first 3 years I was trash. And then I went to UT Austin and I competed there equipped for 4 years. And then so I didn't start raw until I think 2017.
Yeah, that's what Open Powerlifting says.
Yeah.
So is in Texas, from what I understand, is equipped lifting is there really no raw lifting, or is pretty much everybody just equipped?
So in high school it's just equipped. THSPA is just equipped. I don't know. Right now it might have changed, but I'm pretty sure it's still that way. And then even when collegiates first started, the first year I went to collegiates, there was no raw.
Collegiate nationals?
Collegiate nationals. Yeah,
Wow.
The first year I went, which was in 2014, that was my freshman year of college. Yeah, there was no raw at collegiates.
Dang. So what happened in 2017 when you switched from the equipped training over to raw?
Yeah, so what happened was it was my last year, right? So I was trying to win. So I hit up Joey, I think December before collegiate nationals, but Joey just does raw stuff, and I was still competing equipped at the time. And he did my raw programming, and I ended up getting second to a guy named Mitchell Fountain. I don't know if y'all ever heard of him. Mitchell Fountain. He was a real strong equipped lifter. And then after that, I was done with gear, and so I trained raw all the way up until raw nats, and then that was only my second raw meet that I had ever done, and I ended up winning the junior, and I don't know what I got an open 6th or 7th or something like that.
Let's not forget to mention that the last equipped meet you did, from what your Open Powerlifting says, you had a 2066 total, and that would have been your senior year of high school, right?
Oh, no. That was because I did equipment all through college too.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that was my senior year of college. So I was already I don't know, 21. 22.
It's still though like a 2066 total. I think it was
At
like
20 years old.
around a 750 squat, 5 something bench, and like a mid sevens deadlift.
I squatted 783 or 2 or something like that. And then I pulled 760. Yeah.
Golly.
It's insane, man.
So what was it like going from equipped to raw? Did you have to change a whole lot?
I changed my training, right? So I started doing a little bit more frequency. Like when you're in gear, you can only do so much. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You can't squat in like full gear more than I only did it once a week, and I think the second day would be like half suit. I can't even remember honestly. It was so long ago. But so my frequency increased a little bit. I started benching 3 times a week, like immediately. I just did a little bit more volume. It's more like you have to have like raw. You have to have the muscle. You know what I mean? You can't like really just rely on technique and the suit. So I was trying to build a lot of muscle. So I do a lot of sets of 8 and just hella volume at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you get on with Joey?
Man, I saw him just like everybody else, like right at the beginning when Raw had just started getting big, and John Hack and Brett Gibbs went head up at Worlds. I don't know if y'all saw that or if y'all were already powerlifting yet, but that was like a huge explosion for Raw because it was like head to head USA versus New Zealand, and it was just like so competitive. And so when Joey coached John Hack to win that, then he kind of blew up on Instagram and stuff, and so I just messaged him right after that, and then yeah, that's it, man. I've been with them ever since. That's been like, I think going on 4 years now.
Yeah, so you're still with him?
Yeah, still with them. Yes,
yes,
sir.
Team Flex seems to be doing pretty good right now. When we had Jesus on, he's another Flex member.
Oh,
have
yeah,
you ever done any? He's also from Texas too. Have you ever done any training with him?
I have not trained with him because I just recently moved out to California. So
I gotcha.
But when I go back, we already like message each other and stuff. When I go back to San Antonio, we're gonna link up for sure.
Oh yeah, he seems like a really cool guy just to work out with and be around in training. Like
for
his
sure.
mindset is just there.
Yeah, for sure.
So you were just talking about how your training is a little bit different since you're raw now. What other stuff would you say is different? Like I see you hit a lot of singles. That's what it seems like Joey likes to do for people.
Mm-hmm.
How's that compared to when you were equipped?
Equipped, I still did singles. I guess that was more like 6 to 8 weeks out though. So when I was getting equipment, then I started doing singles. I kind of do them more like almost year round now. Pretty much year round. There's sometimes where I won't do them, but if I'm trying to get healthier and stuff like that. But most of the time we're doing singles. I mean, it's the most specific training you can get, right? Like we compete with singles. Specificity of training is like the number one principle. So it's like the most specific we can get. So we do singles pretty much all year round. Yeah, man, and I train RPE based. I didn't even know what RPE was when I was in equipment at all.
Was that something how long did it take you to figure that out? Because I've seen other people do it, and it seems like it takes them a minute just to figure out, hey, this is RPE 7.
Sometimes it takes a little bit, but I think it's a really good way to get to know your body, right? So like, even if you mess up, you're gonna know. You could watch the video back, and if you have a coach that's gonna help you, and then you can really learn yourself really fast, right? As opposed to percentage, you're kind of just doing what's there.
Yeah.
You might not even think about like, oh, how many reps did I have, or like how hard was this for me? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
in football, that's what we'd always do as a percentage stuff. And then I had been working out, through middle school and high school, so I know my body pretty well. But then I just started doing RPE stuff on this last program I started, and it's taken some time. Like, I mean, I've still barely got it figured out, just a little bit. But it's hard to take what you feel and how it looks at the slowest point and put that together to give like an objective opinion on what a lift actually is RPE wise.
Yeah, for sure. Using the video is a big help, I feel, because sometimes stuff could just feel like trash, right? But then you watch the video back and it's moving well. Or sometimes something could feel good and you watch the video back and you're like, wow, that was actually pretty slow. You know what I mean?
And I think a lot of times we're just harder on ourselves. We do the lift and we're like, oh, man, that was too slow. And you look at the video and somebody else is like, man, that flew. And you just you want it to be faster in your head.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So what meets are you looking to here in the future? I know COVID messed up a lot of things. I don't assume you have anything planned for this year. Maybe something for next year.
I actually am signed up for a meet right now in November 14th, but not gonna happen. So.
Why not? COVID regulations or?
Nah, COVID. I mean, they just have to wear masks and it has to be outside. So they were gonna like put it on like under a tent outside the gym, basically. So it's still gonna be at the gym, but they're just gonna have like one of those, like those outdoor
Yeah,
tents.
yeah.
So the meet's still going on, and I'm still gonna go because I'm gonna like help coach some people, but I'm not competing because I like just recently I kind of like hurt my knee. I'm not gonna say it's like a tendinopathy, tendon pain
Yeah.
knee thing. You know what I mean? So it's not like a real injury, but it's like it was
It
enough for me to like not do a local meet. You know
yeah,
what I
it,
mean?
it hinders training, and it's
Yeah,
better just to rehab it instead of going in and competing and risking hurting it for a local meet.
yeah, yeah. If
Um,
it was Nats, Arnold, or anything big, I would have just pushed through, but not for this one.
yeah. How did speaking of minor and major injuries, how do you for something minor, let's say, how do you handle that in training?
So like the main
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
is
So
like if
like, how do you adjust it?
so like if your movement's already on point, right? If you already
Hmm.
have pretty good technique, um, if you're already like getting all your sleep, all those variables are in check, then you just go in the gym and I just do what I can, right? So like right now my knee, I think it happened like 5 weeks ago. It flared up real bad. It's like on and off since I've been training, so it's not something new, but it flared up real bad like 5 weeks ago. So um, couldn't really squat without like a decent amount of pain. So I started doing like pretty much like a high foot position leg press. You know what I mean? Which is like a
Yeah.
little bit less quad and knee bend and more in like. And so I would just do that to like I try to maintain as much muscle as I can, and I switched from sumo to conventional again because sumo just bugs the knees a little bit more for me. Um, and yeah, man, you just do what you can, right? So
Yeah.
like, let's say you have like a hip problem, like your hips are bugging. I would personally, I go in the gym, I like squat to pins high, so I don't have as much hip flexion, and then
Hmm.
I'll pull from blocks on sumo, so I'm not as much hip flexion at the bottom. I'm gonna keep training regardless.
Right.
I
Just
think
do
it's
what
a
I
big
can.
mistake a lot of people
Yeah.
make. They just stop training completely.
Hmm.
If it's something that's bothering you, just train around it. Figure out what's going
Yeah.
on, train around it, and then
Yeah. Usually there's a
get better.
way to train around it. Sometimes you might have to take some time off, but usually there's a way.
And I think for the most part, really, movement will help a lot of
Yeah,
injuries. Just getting up, walking around. The less you're sitting, for me, like I
Yeah.
hurt my hip this year,
Yeah.
and the more I'm up and active, like even just a light workout, it's been getting better and better.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So I think just staying active when you accumulate injuries, and that's another thing. Have you had any like serious injuries throughout your career?
I wouldn't say serious. I've had a couple pretty bad, like low back SI joint. You feel like I don't know if y'all ever had it, but you feel like a pop in it or
yeah,
like a
Hmm.
shift.
Absolutely.
I've had that 2 times pretty bad. The first time the recovery was like, again, I just did what I could in the gym, right? So I was pulling from blocks. I was squatting a little bit high because that low position affected the back more. Um, and that first one took like 6 months to recover from
oh wow,
fully.
Dang.
It not like I started training hard before 6 months, but it's like I could still feel it for a
yeah.
long time. The second time I got over a lot quicker. I feel like I knew more what to do, right? So I was
Hmm.
just doing those movements I could. But other than that, nothing.
Interesting. Uh,
Yeah,
I kind of want to go back to the high school being 113 pounds real quick because
yeah,
being not the biggest guy in the room, um, and especially for high school and college guys who are kind of on the smaller side.
hmm
Obviously, you went through puberty. Puberty's going to add a lot.
yeah. That
But
was a big part of it. Yeah,
yeah. But you've been training since how old are you now? 24.
24. Yeah,
And this was in high school. So how old are you in freshman year? Like
15,
like
15.
15
14.
probably. 14,
so
15.
you've been
I think like
training for
14. Yeah.
about 10 years.
hmm
So it's just that over time putting on that quality mass. So what suggestions would you have for the little guys out there?
For some people, you can't. And this doesn't go for everybody, right? This is like a general, so like this doesn't apply to everyone. But for me, it was just like I couldn't be scared to gain weight, right? Like I was, and for me, it was easy though. It's like I was always small, and so like mentally, I was like, I just want to get big. Like I don't even
Yeah.
care. I didn't even care if I was lean. Like right now, I'm like 238. I'm definitely over 20% body fat, right? And I just don't care. Like I don't want to be small. So it's like I I think that was a big part of it at the beginning. Like some people that ask me questions and they're like, and I'm like, oh well, like have you tried to gain weight? And they'll be like 6 foot, like a buck 80 or something, or they'll just be like string beans, and I'm like, bro, you can't move weight if you don't have muscle. You know what I mean?
You gotta eat.
Yeah, you got to
People are
put
like,
some
how do you
weight
do it?
on.
How do you do it?
So, I mean, obviously, it's better to go slow. Slow surplus. Hit your protein, hit your sleep, and then train consistently.
Yeah, that's what it goes back to. Just doing all those little things consistently, and just it adds up over time. Doing all those little things right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You weren't doing like, it's funny to see a bunch of guys go into the gym now. You see them on a different machine or something every single time you look over. But when you're powerlifting, you're focused on the main big three: squat, bench, deadlift. The bigger the lift, the more muscles work.
Yeah.
It releases more growth hormone, all kind of other stuff in there. So just lift big, get big.
Yeah, for sure. I was mostly at the beginning. I mean, when you're in high school, you want to like hit arms and stuff. So at the beginning, I was hitting like a bunch of bodybuilding stuff. But even at that, I never stopped squat, bench, deadlift like that whole time. You know what I mean?
So you're obviously really strong, and I'd say quite above average strong. Has there ever been a point where you realize like, hey, I'm stronger than most? I think I could really go somewhere with this.
I would say like maybe towards the end of college, I was like finishing up. I didn't know if I wanted to go to PT school or like what I was trying to do after. And then so I finished up school, and then I won my first Nats after I finished. How old was I then? I think 22 or something. I won my first junior Nats raw, and then that's when I was like, okay, I'm pretty good. I'm like really close. I'm getting really close to the open guys. I still have another year junior. I still competed junior the next year. I won again, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of good now. It took a minute though, because like I was like, I'd already been competing for like 7 years at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So did you ever have any doubt saying like this probably isn't my sport?
Nah, man. I've been knowing. Because even like freshman, sophomore year of high school, I played football and soccer. And then after my sophomore year, I quit both. I just did powerlifting in high school.
Yeah.
Like I already knew, even though I wasn't the best, I already knew like, oh, this is what I love to do.
Yeah, you enjoyed it, so you were gonna chase after it as far as you could go.
Exactly.
So you just weren't going to let anything stop you.
Yeah, for sure. It was just like, it wasn't even on some like motivational shit. It was just like, hey, this is what I like to do. I'm gonna keep doing it. You know what I mean? This makes me happy.
You just do it instead of not think about it. Just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I know you do some coaching as well. When did you start that?
I started just a little bit in college. It wasn't like serious, and then I worked with Joey for like 3 years. I worked like some other small jobs after I got out of school, and then Joey just asked me on after he asked me to be like on his team and coach with him. So yeah, that's it, man. I'm on a team now. I've been on a team for like a year now.
Wow, that's awesome.
So what's your coaching philosophy? What's your philosophy around training right now?
Philosophy?
Yeah.
I'll keep it simple. For me, it's like, are you doing enough to get better? Right? Some people don't do enough work. Some people do too much work. So you got to find that sweet spot. Basically, it's the pocket. Find the pocket like with RPE, but also with like your total training volume. Yeah. Figure out enough work to get better, and then do that. Get enough sleep. Get your food in check, and you're straight, man.
Yeah, that's a big thing that takes a lot of time, is finding that sweet spot of everything. That the sweet spot that it takes to add up to to be consistent.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Altman?
Are you just training anybody, like say a beginner, intermediate, advanced, or do you have like a specific niche right now?
So right now I do a lot of like beginner and like intermediate people. So like they go to Joey, and then Joey will kind of decide like who they'll be best for. And so like I get a good amount of. I have some really strong dudes, but like a majority of my guys are like maybe like the end of their beginner and then the beginning of intermediate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how would you explain RPE to a brand new beginner that's never really done powerlifting or lifting?
So it's just a rating of how difficult something was. We're just putting a number on it, right? So if something was if you could say like, oh, that was really hard, and I'd be like, oh yeah, that's probably RP 9. You kind of just make those comparisons. I give them like a chart and everything that shows them every percentage for every RP for every rep. You know what I mean? just so you can start making like comparisons. And then yeah, that's pretty much. I give them the chart, tells them like RP9, most likely 1-ish rep in the tank, RP8, 2 reps, you know, so on and so on.
Yeah.
And then a lot of it is just like communication with them. So like, because we do so much RPE, it's like, especially if you're new to it, I want to see every set, every day. Tell me what RP you thought it was, what RP was it supposed to be, and then I'm gonna tell you what RP I think it was.
That's a good coach right there.
Yeah.
Someone that's constantly talking with you. I know
Yeah.
people who just get in the program. That's it. They don't really.
Yeah,
talk
some
about
people do
anything.
like once a week, which is fine. That works for some people. We do pretty much everyday communication. I mean, you can reach out to me every day. So I'm not gonna reach out to you every single
Yeah.
day,
Right.
but like I'm open every day for you to send video, ask questions, whatever.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and I know the videos are a huge thing. Not just for looking at RPE, but just for going in back and after the set, looking what you can do better next set, what you need to work on. They're good. You know, if you go back like 6 months or a year in your camera roll and you see some old videos, you're like, dang, you know, it kind of makes you look at where you were back then and how much you've come this far, how much progression you've made weight-wise, technique-wise. So I think, you know, recording sets is a huge thing.
Do you save those videos for clients? Do you have them like on a folder, or do you have a chart of their progress?
The videos that they send me?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't say. Well, they're all in like I do everything on Messenger, so they just stay there since it's all online saved. So I can always go back and look. Also have them like fill out numbers and stuff on the sheets that I send them, so I can always go back and look at numbers. A lot of times that's why I like Instagram too, because like sometimes it's annoying like people that post every single lift, but it's also a good way to go back and look because it's like a log. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how you mentioned that when like if they're doing too little, you're gonna add something. How do you know that they're doing too little? What is a sign?
Oh, you can if they're not getting better, right? If they're not getting better and they feel great all the time, they're probably just not doing enough work. If they're not getting better but they feel beat to shit all the time, they're probably doing too much work. You know what I mean? You just got to kind of ask. You got to kind of just do a little investigation. You know what I mean? A lot of times I'm starting people at like the minimum amount of work I think it's going to take for them to get better. So most of the time it's that they need to do more work, not less, because I'm starting them pretty low. But if for some reason I started somebody too high and then I'm asking them like, hey, how are you feeling at the end of the week? They're like, oh, I feel like trash. Every session, you know what I mean? At the end of every block, it's like, okay, maybe we need to pull back a little bit. You're doing too much.
And that's what a coach should be able to do is on like a weekly basis or maybe even a daily basis. It'd probably be a little harder for you being like, you know, an online coach, but like on a weekly basis, being able to modify what the program was designed to be based on how someone feels. We've talked about that on the show a lot. You know, listening to your body and adjusting things as you need to.
Don't stay stuck with the same plan. It's going to change. A plan always changes.
Yeah, that's another reason why like RP is so good as well, though, because it's like, hey, if I come and beat this day, I could tell my coach like, hey, can you switch this up? Or I could also just I'm gonna pull back because it's a RP6. You know what I mean? Anyways, and if my body's beat, it's gonna be less weight. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of also helps you like auto regulate session to session as the lifter like learns their own body.
Yeah, for sure. So what kind of goals? I want to kind of switch gears here. What kind of goals do you have for yourself as far as like short-term goals and as well as like long-term entire career goals?
Short term, win Nats, win Worlds, and then do that a bunch of times. Those are like
pretty simple.
Short term, medium term, long. I mean, I would like to go to Sheffield if that ever happens. All the big meets.
Yeah, last year Sheffield was supposed to be the first, or this year's I think it was supposed to be the first one, and then it ended up not happening.
Yeah, it was gonna be the first one. Yeah.
Wow.
So if I could make it to Worlds and win, it's crazy because in the U.S., if you make it to Worlds in like the 105s, you have a good chance of winning.
Yeah, they're not a whole. I was looking at the records and rankings the other day just to see like how far I need to go in my entire career, and there are very few like strong 105s from the U.S., especially equipped. A lot of those equipped 105s are from like overseas, like the Middle East and like around the Russian area. They got some strong guys over there.
Yeah, for
Why
sure.
do you think that is?
Hold on.
Interesting.
Now that I think about it, they honestly probably put more emphasis on it for kids at a younger age, and it's probably like more recognized as a sport in the country. Like it's more important. That's what I think.
Well, why aren't the 105s stronger than like a 93?
I just feel I don't know. Maybe a 105 is around like an average weight for a man. I don't know.
It's interesting to think about it. It really is.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, they've got a lot more mass.
Yeah. Are you saying why are they like close in strength to 93?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is that how it is equipped? I haven't like looked at the equipped stuff in a long time. Or you're talking about?
I haven't really compared 105 and 93 equipped. I know for sure that the 93 Raws are stronger than the 105 Raws.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about.
93
I'm talking about
Raw.
guys.
I mean, the only guy 93 Raw that's like the same level is Ashton, but he's not a 105. He's not a 93 no more.
Yeah,
Now
he moved
he's a
up.
105 now. Keiko's crazy, but I don't think he's totally like he's close, but I don't think he's totally what like top 3 105s or
Yeah.
totally. And then after that, I don't really know. I don't really know the 93s after that.
Yeah, so you said you were hovering around like 238 right now.
Yeah.
Is the 105, obviously you would cut back for a meet. Is the 105 range comfortable for you? Do you think you'll ever go up to 120?
I can't go up, man. I'll be too big. It's just too big. It's just too big of a jump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm only maybe 5'9" on a good day.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So if I go up to 260, God, I'll be like, I'll be a ball. I would just be a fridge. Like I'll be too big.
See, I'm sitting at like 230 right now, but I'm 6'3", so
Yeah.
that 120 is a possibility for me.
Yeah, for
later
you,
in my
120
career.
would be like maybe a long term.
Yeah, that's what I was
plan,
thinking.
you know what I mean?
I wasn't gonna rush it, but if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, just as you put on more muscle, like over the years, you might just have no choice but to go
And
up.
I feel like that will come. I mean, I haven't filled out my frame at 230.
Yeah.
But when that time comes, I'll move up.
You said you're 238, right?
Yeah, 238.
Okay, so get this. I've tried, like, for the past 2 years, I've been eating my ass off.
Mhm.
I went from college 160 to all the way up to like 198. And I had to eat everything in sight just to get up to like almost 200 pounds.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine what it would be like just to go from like 113 or whatever weight you went to college at to now 238, and I'm 5'9" too.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine how much food that would have to be.
It's
Well, it's 9 years of progress.
yeah.
It's
It was like
crazy.
every year was just like a little bit more weight.
Yeah.
When I got to college, like my first year in college, I was already like 200 pounds.
Okay.
And then that first year, I don't know how y'all's like food system works, but we had like a swipe.
Yeah.
Unlimited.
They were called Bevo Bucks. It wasn't unlimited, but I acted like it was. I ate that thing. I like finished my money in like the first semester, like before Christmas break. My stuff was gone because I was eating like
Dang.
I would make sure I ate like 4 meals a day, but they were like full, like huge meals.
Golly.
Yeah.
I know you said your sister was the one that kind of got you started into being interested in lifting and working out. Would you say there was anybody that was like a big motivation or inspiration to you when you were a younger power lifter?
Probably the biggest person before I felt like I was, because once you feel like you're kind of that guy, you're not like, I'm not really looking to no one now. Now I'm
Right.
just like, I want to be better than you. But at the beginning, I don't know if y'all know who Ian Bell is.
Mm-hmm.
Ian Bell, he was equipped, but now he's still equipped. He just doesn't compete as much as he used
Right.
to. But he's like an equipped legend. Like he won collegiates 4 years straight, and I think he won worlds 4 years straight in equipment.
Golly.
And so when I first came we went to the same school. So when I first came in, he was like a senior, and I was a freshman. We were the same weight class, and so that's who I kind of looked up to at the beginning. But then after that, yeah, that's probably the only person.
You realized you were the man.
Yeah, I was like, nah, I want to be that guy. So it's like I'm not really looking up to.
Hey, that's good. That's a big step in a career.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
let's see. You I think I remember from your last meet you had a pretty close to 2K total raw. I think it was like 1950 something.
1956, I think.
There you go. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
assume that
Oh,
2K
he knows,
total.
he knows.
Yeah, I'm assuming that 2K total is a goal for the next meet that you should shatter, maybe.
Yeah, it's there for sure. I think I
Yeah,
could go to this meet, hurt, and do it. Like yeah, it's there for sure.
it's
No
yeah,
doubt,
it's there.
no doubt.
Because
I
the
think
last meet you did was in 2019, wasn't it?
2019 Nats,
Yeah. So
and
it's been a hot
then
little minute.
I skipped the Arnold on purpose, and then I was planning on doing like a local around the time of the Arnold, and then that's when COVID hit. So then that got canceled, and then I was planning on doing this local, but then my knee started bugging, and I was like, not worth it. So definitely, this one's kind of up in the air. If my knee just starts feeling great this next week, which probably not gonna happen, but if it did, I might still do this one. But if not, I'm gonna do the one in There's another one in February.
I got you.
Yeah,
So you've had quite a bit of time to build up since the last Nats.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
What are do you have any goals like weight wise going into the next meet, whichever one that may be?
like total.
Yeah, or like maybe like a squat, bench, or deadlift weight, or just total weight in your mind that
I'm
you
pretty
want?
sure my plan for this meet, and I'm like, I mean, you can never be sure, right? You can go into a meeting and shit can
Right.
change, but I'm like, was like 80, 90% sure I could hit all these numbers pretty easy. I was going for 722 squat, 485 to 496 bench, and then like 821. I think it's 821. I don't know the exact numbers. You know, it's weird with kilos, but
Yeah.
820 ish pull. And I was like pretty sure I was gonna hit all those. And I think that would come out to like 2050 or something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
You,
dude.
you mentioned switching back to conventional deadlift as you had pulled sumo.
Hmm.
Did you pull conventional before that sumo?
No, first time I've ever picked up a bar, it was sumo.
Really?
Like, yeah, like when I was like freshman in high school, they were already like showing a sumo for powerlifting, and that was like the first thing I ever did. I I don't really train conventional much. I've maybe done like 3 or 4 blocks of it in the whole time I've ever trained.
See,
Yeah,
that's
so
crazy because in high school football, our coach wouldn't let us do anything but conventional.
yeah,
And
that's what like all the big boys did conventional.
yeah,
I
is
was just
that
like when I started, I was so small, and like I don't know if it's because I had seen it at a meet or what, but that's how I started doing it, like legs outside.
A
yeah.
lot of coaches prefer conventional because if you think
Yeah,
about it, like if you're a hockey player or a football player, you're in that hinge position a lot.
Yeah, that's what he
yeah,
told us because it was a football stance is why we couldn't do it. But as a 6'3" fella, conventional is not the move for me. That's how I
yeah,
got hurt the first 2 times.
yeah. That
So
ain't
when I
it.
finally got out of high school and I was able to switch to sumo, I think that's what saved me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that 6'3", that's long, bro. That's a long way up.
Yeah, I'm like an anomaly in the powerlifting world.
Yeah, only got a few of those.
Yeah. So do you have any advice to because we on this show the point of it is to um, share information and help younger lifters like high school and college lifters get
Mm,
into strength training or improve their powerlifting career, however
Yeah,
you want to call it.
yeah.
So
mm.
do you have any advice for young lifters wanting to get into powerlifting or that have just started?
Um, I would say you got to do the little things right, right? Like it adds up over time. So like, get your sleep. Because I know when I was in school, I know like sleep sometimes hard to come by, especially like with finals or like you're partying, whatever, whatever. Try to get your sleep, get your nutrition in check, and then just be consistent, like over a long period of time. Because people always ask me like, "Oh, how do I get this lift up?" or "How do I get this lift up?" And I'm like, "Bro, I just
Just do it.
did these things right for 10 years. Like that.
Yeah, for
That's
a
why I'm
long
that strong.
time.
That's why I'm like as strong as I am now. It's like I didn't do anything special. I mean, I have a good coach. I train. I do like I have a good training plan, but it's like there's nothing special. Just got to do the right things for a long period of time.
If you tell
Um,
somebody that, they're just like, "What? That's it? There's no secret.
Yeah.
There's no
yeah, they
secret
don't want to. They
sauce."
don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? They want to
Yeah,
hear
they
like
don't. They
that's the
don't. It's
way.
it's the truth though.
It's hard for someone like just starting in powerlifting for them to hear that I have to do these same things, these same little things for a long, long time
Yep.
Yeah,
before I ever get to be really, really good.
yeah,
But that's just kind of the game of powerlifting. It's a long game.
yeah. Unless you're a freak. I mean, there's some freaks, but yeah, most of us know you just got to do it for a long time. You know
You
what I
gotta
mean?
work. With consistency though, you have to put in the hard work too.
Oh
Like
yeah,
you can be
absolutely.
consistent, but that doesn't mean you're going to be good.
Yeah, you got to consistently hard work,
Consistently
good
hard
work.
work.
Yeah.
Perfect practice.
Yeah, it's got to be hard work. I would say like after the first year or two, after you like kind of make your noob gains, whatever, you could do that. A lot of people could do that by yourself, right? Like you could find any 8-week linear beginner program, and you're probably gonna make similar gains than if you like. There's no special program, especially at the beginning.
Thank you.
After I did that, on my own, I mean, we do that in high school. You know what I mean? We're doing 5x5s, and you're
Right.
adding weight every week, and you're a beginner, so it works. But after you do that, maybe find like some type of intermediate program, like something that's specifically for intermediates. Maybe get a coach if you have like the extra cash. I know I ran Candido 6 week like 6 times. Like
Yeah.
I was just running it, bro, and it worked. And it's like, okay, if you're an intermediate and you don't know what to do right now, run Candido 6 week. You'll probably get some gains out of it. After that,
Everything works.
maybe get a coach. If stuff stalls after that, maybe get a coach or do your own research. But yeah, you have to have a good plan and then consistency and all the little things.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it, but I remember someone saying that if you run one program and it works and you make gains from it, why would you switch to another one?
Yeah,
I mean,
keep doing it.
There's nothing bad about running the same program again. You're just putting in different numbers.
Keep doing it till it doesn't work. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah,
sure.
I think that's
Yeah.
what you should do for a lot of powerlifting is keep doing something until it doesn't work. You know,
Yeah.
You start regressing or you don't make improvement, change it and switch.
Yeah. That's good advice.
I agree with that, but again, sometimes I just get bored with the same program. I just like to change it up. Even if it does work, I think it's interesting to find different programs, and you take what you can from one program and then add
I think sometimes you can, like what you said, take what you can. Like for me, it's like sometimes I get bored. It was cool to do conventional for 5 weeks. Like I've been doing it for 5 weeks because I messed up my knee a little bit. It was cool to do it for 5 weeks just because like it's something new. But for the most part, I do the same boring. It's boring because it's like the same thing, but it's like I know it works. I keep doing it. Sometimes we switch accessories up, and then like post meet, you'll hit some more variation. Like those things are fun, but sometimes it's pretty monotonous.
Yeah,
It definitely is.
powerlifting in a nutshell is kind of monotonous.
Yeah.
Like just the basis behind it. You're trying to do 3 movements as perfectly as you can.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure. Yeah.
Let's see. Anything else you got, Altman?
Nah, man. Again, thank you for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. Where can people
Yeah.
find you on Instagram?
What was that?
Where can people find you on Instagram?
Oh, Mikey D with 3 E's. Let me check to make sure.
And
3
plug your
E's.
coaching too.
And an underscore. And then so like if you follow me there's a link in my bio that you could just click if you want to apply for coaching. If you want to apply for coaching, mention my name.
Yeah. Team Flex has been doing big things. We've already had 2 athletes on the show. Very strong, accomplished athletes, and we hope to see many good things out of Team Flex.
Yes, sir. It's takeover. Flex takeover.
Yeah.
As always, you can find us at triple.b.podcast on Instagram. Me at Seth.Todd76. Altman.
Big scholar strength.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Mikey D, thank you so much for your time, and good luck with your training in the future.
Yes, sir.